what could have happened. There's so much things that could have happened in that game. But let me reenact to you what happened in my watch along of the game. Let me show you what was going on my end. I had some of this action going on. Just real tough one. Real toughness going down here, man. A lot of tough activity, tactical placement of the head on the pillow because I was bored out of my mind. I don't know what was going on, dog. I don't know what was going on. The attack, we gotta talk, bro. We gotta have a real heart-to-heart today, bro. What's goody, everybody? It's full-time trip, and we are done. It's full-time at the Stadio de Bergamo. As it is 0-0, Atalanta and Arsenal, the opener in our Champions League campaign, comes to a draw in the end. Really tactically interesting game, but to everybody else who's just there for the vibes and see what's going on, I know it was kind of special. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Again, from our side, couple of potential chances there. Two actually potentially winners from Martinelli that just come wide of the post. One that was kind of wide, the other one that was wide, like Boney singing his song or whatever at Swansea. Like, nah, that it's crazy. You know what I mean? Not wild, wide. Like high def curve monitor wide. It was ridiculous. But there was that. Saka had a free kick that was close, but their Atalanta keeper did get a hand to it. Outside of that, we got to have a conversation and a heart-to-heart about this. I want to focus on the constructive first, and then we can get to the positive second. There weren't too many positives, but there were some good positives from it. And before I do any of that, again, I don't know what people were expecting coming into this game against Atalanta, the same team who absolutely folded Liverpool's clothes when they were still in them and Leverkusen's clothes when they were still in them in the Europa League final. I don't want people to get it twisted. Gasperini coaches a fantastic tactical side. Again, they may not have the star power, whatever that you may think, but they're a well-coached side, one of the best pressing teams, one of the best structured, one of the most effectively structured defensive teams in Europe. Bar none. They're up there. And again, with the way they were pressing in certain times, it just felt natural to them. I don't know if you saw it, but it was just like different periods of squeezing, and they were just like there. They were just automatic with it. And I'll get to the positive later, but coming up against that is not easy. I know people may see the names on the team sheet. They may see Kolasinac or whatever the hell and like Zappacosta and think, oh yeah, these guys are pump side, blah, 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 blah. But the way they're coached makes them dangerous. The way they're coached makes them a very, very tough side to break down and play through and stay focused against, because they pick one little moment. And you got 6 players on your ass right here, up on you, and you don't know how to break out of it. So there's that we have to deal with. It's a serious side. It is what it was in terms of the opposition, but they're serious. They're nothing to be scoffed at, and they deserve respect. So there is that. But to focus on, again, the constructive, what we can work on, what we can build upon. We talking about this attack, man. We got to talk about this attack. Oh, we miss Odegaard so much. And that's outside the finishing. That's outside of the forward play in general. I just want to say, advancing the ball, finding the right pocket to pass, the timing to pass, those little passes into space, and those little through balls into the box that people latch on to, like a Ben White or a Saka. None of that was, barely any of it was there today, if at all. It was either mistimed or miscued passes. That presence of Odegaard, that ankle of Odegaard, damn it, we wish a speedy recovery, but he's not going to be with us for about a solid 7 to 8 weeks. And that's a lot considering today's performance, where we needed the right timing to break away. We needed the right timing to, again, ping certain passes, feed certain players. When you're on the run and when you're on the drive, making that right decision on timing. There was a potential 2v1 situation today where Declan Rice could have held onto the ball and drove a little bit more and then released and created a better dynamic in the attacking situation, but he just tried to pass off immediately to Jesus, and nothing really came of it. There wasn't enough driving through the midfield for me. I feel like that might have been more tactical instruction to crowd the edges, the sidelines, maybe play a little bit longer to beat their man-to-man press. Like, I understand those things, but when there's opportunities to at least try and create that little wiggle room and create that space to drive, or there is that space to drive, you see that lane, why not take it? Why not take it? And I feel like there weren't enough, one, runners to consistently do that, and two, just how the defensive setup was. I feel like it's hard for people like Declan Rice to make that commitment when you have Partey, whose literal hamstrings are made of Legos. I don't know what happens if he stretches too far. They're going to snap, bro. They're going to crickle, bro. It's over. Like, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to kind of find that moment. I would have loved to see Saka drift more centrally more often. I think that happened more in the second half, but still couldn't get his timing on the ball. I wish that, I wish when Ari would have got some minutes. I wish Ethan would have got some minutes, because I think his penchant and his natural inclination to drive into the space and look for that pathway to kind of dribble through and dribble towards and advance the ball and progress it and carry it, I think that would have made a bit more of a difference today. Again, not my team. Arteta understands it may not be the right time for him to drop in a Champions League opener. I get it, but I think it would have been better served to give him some type of minutes today. So yeah, there was that. Just the missing presence of Odegaard in the attack, and just the decisions in general. Again, the miscued runs, the misplaced passes, the amount of offsides. Gabriel Jesus, I'm looking at you. I'm sorry, dog. Yes, it was you like half of the time, if not 75% of the time. There was, again, those moments, the Martinelli chances. I feel like just the composure. And let me just say this. I'm not singling people out, and I don't want to single people out, because nobody in the attack had a great game going forward. But with the defensive platform that you provide and the work rate that you provide, Gabriel Martinelli, Saka as well, those little moments here and there, which you have to finish, I just want you to have that composure to finish. And again, it feels like people will hyperfixate on this because attackers that's their MO, that's their role. They gotta score the goals and do that. They're gonna hyperfixate on that and negate all the other good work that he's done. But this is what I'm saying. It's hard to defend Martinelli at this stage because of that little bit of lack, that little bit of dullness in the final action. It's not even him driving into the box. I think there was points where he was doing what he was normally doing. He's just, again, picking, popping, finding one pass to like a Jorginho or a Rice, and then he makes his run into the box. He'll find his little moments here and there, and I think he was pretty spry to get in those positions, but when you get there, it's got to be composure. It's got to be keeping the ball down. It's got to be, finding your right way across. If you're going across the goalkeeper like this, try and find it near post instead of skying it all the way up to Rosette. Like, there's just certain things that I wish there was more composure in that final action. Martinelli's final action, Saka, he was triple marked out the damn game, and I feel like he didn't get as much joy as he wanted to. I think drifting centrally was probably going to help, but again, the ball just wasn't sticking to him as much, and the ball wasn't getting to him as much. Another missing presence of Odegaard thing that we want to see more, but whatever. And I just think the attack wasn't there. Jesus, I just didn't think I think it was next to non-existent personally in that match. Just had a couple moments to try and press from the front, but nothing was sticking to him. I don't think he was, again, particularly well progressing not necessarily progressing the ball, carrying the ball, but yeah, literally carrying the ball from his position at the top of the field in the 9 position. I don't think he was that good today. Tried to drop deeper to help receive, but just wasn't effective. And I think right now at this stage, it's hard, but upsetting that dynamic of Havertz being that linchpin and being really good at hold-up play, and looking in comparison to Atalanta, where today I think their hold-up play was actually they were miles better than us trying to hold the ball when they get those chances, those little parts, and allowing the team to help funnel in and find some things. Again, our structure helped stifle them getting any further than that once they held up the ball. But it's just those little things here and there that I'm like, all right, we have got to endure and we have to evolve without Odegaard's presence on one end, and we got to make the right decisions on the other. That's the constructive things I have to say. The positives, our defensive shape was fantastic. I think our defensive shape, which something that we can rest on, which you couldn't say that in years prior, being able to rest and rely on that when things aren't exactly clicking all over the place, that is a fantastic relief for me. I didn't feel too phased and too let's see, except for the penalty shout, that's a whole other thing. But outside of that, the remnants of the game are still making me yawn. I think outside of that instance of the penalty, there was not really too many moments where I was afraid of a chance or afraid of a thing. Maybe the half chance that Lookman was close to, but Saliba sweeped that up at the end of the game. I was pretty confident in his ability to take care of that. And in terms of also our composure in the first and second phases when Atalanta wanted to press. Again, like I said, like many people already know, Atalanta know how to press and at the right times. They're just instinctive with it. There was like 3 or 4 times where I saw it across the match and they were just like, already in one breath, they were like 6 bodies like pushed up very, very closely. And it made it a very strenuous time for us to, get around. But the way we played through that press, the way we had showed patience, the way we didn't try to speed things up and force things to happen, I enjoyed that. But now to build on that, you have to have those little moments where you pick the right pass, you find the right time to drive, you make the right decision in an attacking mode, so those defensive contributions and that composure doesn't go in vain. That's what we need to build on next without an Odegaard to kind of make that automatic for us. And that's serious. That's a tough position. But again, I want to focus on that positive. It is really, really good to see, there are very good defensive side that stick on to us a lot. It was man-to-man in many situations, and there was things we had to be careful of. But I think we handled and navigated those things very well. But advancing out of them, we needed some work. But again, that defensive foundation was key, and I think it was wonderful today. Going into the penalty incident real quick, again, Partey's legs are made out of Legos. What you want me to say? Man was a bit slow to it. Ederson was diving a whole hell of a lot, but you still can't try and pester him at that point too close to the goal. You just can't do that. So is what it is. But that leads into the person who I think is the standout from this game. I think the standout from the season so far. If he hasn't shown you this at this point, why he's one of the best, if not the best keeper in Europe right now on form, then today at least gave you some more indication. David Raya, you're my absolute man of the match, bro. Extra paella on me, brother. Extra paella is on me. Again, a penalty situation, picks the right way. The freaking Simon Zaza step up, bro, never dies. But the man steps up, he picks the right side, he picks the right way, saves it. But what was even more impressive, off of the other side of the goal, this man tries to head it down, and Raya's so quick to get off of his feet, get off of his ass, and makes the other save, and he keeps it out. And again, not just the moments that are high action, the moments that are low action, preventative, him trying to bait the press a little bit, be a little bit provocative to get another defender on him, distribution, calmness, to spring it. A lot of our attack today was hinging on his ability to get the ball over to Havertz, or get the ball over to Declan Rice over the top, so we can get to the a higher position, win some territory, and then continue to press on the ball from there. Because a lot of the game wasn't going through the middle for us, obviously. I wish it would have, but that's just not how the game plan went, I assume. So that was contingent on him. So many things are contingent on him and his composure and his ability to read the game, see the game, and do what he needs to do best. He has proved without a shadow of a doubt that on the ball, he is fantastic. He was clearly our number one. But these off the ball moments with the saves, with the composure of claiming, with the calmness that he brings around the box, he shows why he's a fantastic keeper. And he's already had a crazy highlight tape 5 games into the season. What more do you want from him? So I'm absolutely thrilled that he is having a wonderful start to this season and kind of shutting up people who are like, oh, he just hide behind Gabriel Saliba and stuff like that. No, he's a great player in his own right. And I'm glad it's been high time people are really, really seeing it now. So loving that. But outside of that, I can personally say I wish we had more in attack, but I'm not going to be bent up about this draw. I'm not going to be bent up about it. It's the beginning of a new campaign, a new format for the Champions League. We've got a lot of games to go, a lot of important things that we need to shore up. We'll take this as a learning lesson against one of the tougher defensive sides in this competition, because I think other people will definitely see the struggle that's potentially there. We'll take the positives from it, and we'll move on to the next one. Because I'm glad that Saka wasn't full 90 in this regard, because we gonna need all our strength, Bubba. We gonna need all our strength. It is Manchester City at the Etihad on Sunday, and I am absolutely like head down, just mean mugging this fixture. I'm mean mugging this fixture. I got to bring up the old picture I had with the Man City mascot. I'm ready to scrap again. Like, this is such a big game, and we need to have our attacking dynamics right. We need to, our moments, our attacking, not even the dynamics, the moments. If Martinelli's starting, you need to be on smoke, bro. When your time comes, you need to take that chance. Compose, take that chance. Saka, he need to do what he does best. You know what I'm saying? Whether a KDB is there or not, blah blah blah. We got to be as prepared as we possibly can, because this one could impact a lot on the season. Morale, mentality, the points, whatever you want to call it. But it's a big fixture, and we got to be there. We got to be 100% there and show up on the day, and we'll see how it goes. But let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this opener to the Champions League campaign for Arsenal. What was your favorite performance out of the lot? What were some of your favorite moments, players, who you think needs to improve, all that good stuff. And with that being said, that is about all the time I got on the docket for this one. But don't trip. We will see you in the next one. COYJ. Peace.